Also, there's a random cat that's like right in front of me. I don't know if you can see this thing, but it's just chilling.
After a wonderful time in Yokohama, it was time for me to head back to Tokyo so I can get ready for the next leg of my adventure. Catching a really early flight, I was heading my way down to Kyushu, Japan's southernmost island, specifically to the city of Fukuoka.
So I just landed in Fukuoka not too long ago, and I've just been kind of wandering around Hakata Station, the main station over here in Fukuoka. And when I walked outside, it's cold, windy, raining, which normally would not be ideal weather, but this time I'm happy about it because this area is known for one thing, and it's tonkatsu ramen. And of course, not only is it tonkatsu ramen, it's also the birthplace of the very popular, very famous Ichiran ramen, which I have yet to try. So I figured, why not try it in the place that started it all, in Fukuoka. Now, some people will say it's overrated. Some people will say it's the greatest ramen in Japan. Really, I just want to try it, just to say I tried it, and then we'll make a decision from there.
As it turns out, the Ichiran that I ended up going to just so happened to be the headquarters of the company. Seeing that I was planning on eating in Hiroshima a little bit later as well, I went for the classic tonkatsu with an egg and a soda.
So here's my order. I want to try the base, just try the normal, see what it's like, and then I just added a little spice, nothing crazy. Also, what I wasn't expecting, I mean, I kind of was expecting, but there is a bit of a line kind of going down the stairs, which normally for something like this I wouldn't wait for, but I figured I'd try it. I'm here only once, right?
After waiting in line for quite some time, I finally got my booth and I got my food. So, what's the verdict?
Now, I can't really comment and say if this is the best ramen in Japan, because I haven't had enough ramen in Japan to make that statement. But I'll say this: it's better than anything I've ever had in the U.S. for sure. And then it's definitely the best tonkatsu ramen I've had so far. I really liked the miso ramen that I had in Sapporo. That one was really good with the butter and the corn and everything. So, I don't know. It's I can't say that this is better than that, but I also can't say that one is worse than this one. I don't know. This is so far the best tonkatsu ramen that I've ever had. It might change if I go to a local place, but for a chain, this is pretty good.
So, there you have it. I think it's fine. I don't think it's the greatest ramen in Japan though.
Alright, so that was a nice hearty lunch. Wasn't super filling, but that's fine. That's just enough that I needed. So I'm just gonna walk around the main portion of Fukuoka right now, just looking at the different signs and see what pictures I can get. I won't stay here too long because there's only one other thing I want to do here, which is the Nanzuin Temple, and then after that, finally get to do what I've been waiting to do basically my whole life: ride the bullet train.
After soaking in some of the scenery, I made my way back to Hakata Station, where I boarded a local train and was making my way to Nanzuin Temple. But on my way there, something didn't feel right. While on this train to Nanzuin Temple, I had this feeling of exhaustion kick in, thinking, okay, I'm just tired. But what ended up happening is that my head tilted back and suddenly my body froze. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you this, it felt like my body was shutting down. But I had no idea why. Seeing that I went on this trip solo, and it was the middle of the day in Japan and middle of the night in the US, I was afraid. I didn't know what was happening. I was legitimately scared. My body's shutting down. I have no one to contact. What's happening? I don't know what to do. I started to piece together as to why this might be happening. And as I stated earlier in the video, it was,
cold, windy, raining.
And in addition to that, the days leading up to this day, I just wouldn't stop moving. I landed from the US and I just kept going on plane, train, just kept moving, which resulted in severe jet lag. And then on top of all of that, I decided to have ramen for lunch. But there was one piece that I realized after I came home from this trip that actually is what almost got me. You see, I suffer from extreme motion sickness, so because of that, I had some over-the-counter medication to kind of help me through it. And reading the label, it says don't take a certain amount per day. Well, I didn't take into account the time difference, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, it's the next day. So I ended up taking more than I needed to every single day, and because of that, my body started rejecting it. I reread the label, and it said that if I take too much, that I would get poisoned. And I think that's what caused my body to shut down. I think I was starting to get poisoned, mixed with jet lag, ramen, and just all this other stuff happening at the same time. So heed my warning. As excited as you're going to be going into Japan, please be excited, but please pace yourself. Don't make the same mistake I did. I almost lost my life because of it. But thanks to this anime-themed coffee and a little help from Dr. Jelly, I had just enough energy to continue on with my day and make it safely to Nanzuen Temple. This is the Nanzuen Temple, home of the Nihonzu Buddha. Completed in 1995, this is one of the largest bronze statues in all of Japan. It is believed that rubbing its feet will bring you good luck and good fortune, and after what felt like a near-death experience and the cost of this whole trip, I definitely needed it. This is the Shinkansen, often referred to as the bullet train. If you're looking forward to it or you've never ridden one, the best way I can describe it is imagine being in a plane and it's on the runway to take off, and it starts going, but it never takes off. It's smooth and quiet, and it was honestly probably one of the most joyous parts of my trip. This was made possible with the Japan Rail Pass, which unfortunately went up in price after I went on this trip. After such an exhausting day and losing my Family Mart umbrella, I finally made it to Hiroshima. A word of advice: pace yourself. Don't make the same mistake I did.
So unfortunately, while I was in Fukuoka, what ended up happening was my jet lag just hit me real hard. I just could not function. I had to get like a small coffee, and that I was not having a good time whatsoever. So the next plan was supposed to go from Fukuoka to Hiroshima, and by the bullet train, by the Shinkansen. And I thought, man, that would be great to film my first time, on the Shinkansen. Just how exciting is that? I'm so excited to do all that. However, I got in there and I just took a nap because I was very tired. But while I'm here in Hiroshima, there was a couple things I wanted to see. There was a viewing deck that unfortunately closes at 6 p.m. and I got here after 6 p.m. Had a nice view of like the mountains and the city and so on. And then the Peace Memorial Museum as well, where they showcased a lot of like what happened during like the atomic bomb and so on. Like I really wanted to see both of those, but they both closed at 6. But while I'm here, I figured let's see two things: the atomic dome and go get some okonomiyaki, the Hiroshima style. And so right behind me, there's the atomic dome. So I'm gonna see if I can get some pictures of it real quick, grab a bite to eat of the okonomiyaki, and then I'm gonna head to Osaka, where I'm gonna stay the night over there for the next couple nights. Also, there's a random cat that's like right in front of me. I don't know if you can see this thing, but it's just chilling. Hi, cat.
It's difficult to describe the feeling of looking at this building up close, but really there's not much that I can say that hasn't been said before. I would encourage you to go past Osaka and go to Hiroshima just for this building, and if you have time, definitely make your way to the Peace Memorial Museum. Though it's probably my biggest regret from this trip is not giving myself enough time for this. Next time, I'm going to this museum. After wandering around for a little bit, it was time I made my way to Okonomimura, where you'll find different stalls and restaurants that specialize in the Hiroshima style of okonomiyaki. This dish is often referred to as a savory pancake, but honestly the only resemblance is that it's a circle. After this delicious dinner and a quick gachapon at Hiroshima Station, I was back on the Shinkansen and made my way safely to Osaka, where I'd be staying at the first cabin capsule hotel for the next couple days. Time to rest and get ready for the next part of my adventure.